You hear that hawk? The hawk's over in there. That's where I'm headed. I'm headed right to where he's at. That's where I want to get to and refilm that spot with the thermal and get some size comparisons. There he goes up there. It's flying over the treetops. I was going to try to film him with the camcorder, but he moved on. So there's another one over there too. A lot of times they hunt in pairs. So he started out right over there where I'm headed to. Alright, so I'm gonna move it away. So the magnetic electric is still normal. 0.1, 0.2. That's normal from the human body. Alright, come on. I'm going to take you up in here and show you around. I'm going to do an experiment too when we get up in here. Alright, come on. Alright, so we're going to do a little experiment down here too. See if that gets us any kind of activity, or see if that helps with anything down here. A little experiment that I was doing some research on. Alright, so we were going up in here, and like I said, I could hear them over here on my left. I could hear them moving around up in here. When you spend a little bit of time out in the woods, and you learn all the different sounds, and you learn about how animals move. And like I could tell that wasn't animals. There wasn't animals that were moving around over in there. Because you can tell the sound of animals. You can tell that sounded like humans or like people moving through over there following us. You can tell when they step on sticks. Little limbs, you can tell. They don't have that on. Or you can tell because the animals, most of the time the animals don't hardly make much noise as far as stepping on any kind of sticks or limbs. But you do have, bears are heavy enough, deer and hogs are heavy enough to break a stick if they step on it. Just like we are. Alright, so I was filming with the thermal camera, mainly on my ride over here. And that was mainly because of the sun over there. I don't point it towards the sun if I can help it. So I'm pretty sure about where I was when I got him on video. So I'm gonna get back up here and do some comparisons. So it has been drawn up a bit. It's actually dried up pretty good from after Hurricane Milton came through. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna set the cameras up for a second right here. Okay, so I'm going to do some size comparisons here. Alright, so in the thermal camera you can see the ball of that tree right there that's uprooted. You can see that over on the left side. Alright, so I'm going to be walking right up in there. Alright, so you can see the camera, the thermal camera right there. Okay, so I'm going to stand beside the thermal camera first. Alright, so you'll be able to see me here beside the thermal camera. So normally I'm holding the thermal camera about another 8 inches taller than what it is now, but that's as high as it'll go. I might change the battery out. So I'm going to change this GoPro real quick and then I'll continue. Alright, I changed out the camera. I changed out the battery on the GoPro. Get it set back up. Alright, so while I'm doing this, I was checking the elevation. Alright, so the Garmin GPS is going up. When I first looked at it, it was 115 foot elevation. Now it's 163 foot elevation. And my phone, the compass on my phone still shows 100 foot. When I moved the phone, it went to 110 foot elevation. (110 foot elevation), 161, 162 foot elevation on the Garmin. That's off of the GPS satellites. And you can hear a woodpecker. Hear that woodpecker. We're getting a little bit of magnetic electric. It was going up to 0.8. Okay, so back to filming here and measuring. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start right here, and I'm gonna pace up to 10 yards and stop a minute in front of the thermal camera, and then I'll go to 20 yards and then 30 yards, and then I'll be able to know when I go back and look at the footage. I'll be able to know about how far I am compared to how far he was. Alright, here we go. Okay, this is 10 yards. Okay, this is 10 yards from the camera, from the thermal camera. Like I said, the thermal camera, I normally carry it a few inches higher than what it is right now. And then we'll put it at eye level if I'm standing looking through it. But when I caught him on camera, I was just carrying it. So it would have been just a few inches higher than it is now. Okay, so this is 10 yards. You can see the trees. See how wide the tree is there? It's about 6 inches. Let me get my tape measure out. Because knowing these trees too will help. Okay, that's about 5 inches. The tree's about 5 inches wide. This one's about 8 inches. Alright, so let's go a little bit more. Or let's do one more time. Okay, so that's 10 yards. Okay, this is 20 yards right here. So with the GoPro you can see the cameras over there. So this is 20 yards. So the tree behind me is about a 10-inch tree. So this is 20 yards right here. So hopefully this will give us some size comparisons. Alright, so I'm going to go one more time, because I wanted to go to 30 yards. Alright, this is 40 yards. So I'm just waving a little bit in front of the camera. Alright, I know you can see me from right there. Alright, so I got an 8-inch tree here beside me. So this tree in front of me right here is about 10 inches, about a 10-inch tree. Alright, so I had to get over in front of the camera. I stepped ahead of this little palmetto here, so I'm just under 30 yards right here. Alright, so let's go. Okay, so this is about 25 yards right here. This will give me a little closer. This puts me a little bit closer. So this is 25 yards. And this is about a 9.5 inch. That tree's 9.5 inches. Alright. So when I get home, I'll be able to see if this worked out okay and compare it. So this is about 15 yards right here. This is about 15 yards. Figure I'll step over here and look, see if I see any arrowheads. You never know. Bigfoot Dave said that sort. This is where he looks. He finds them under trees when they're uprooted like this. I don't see any. You can see the big blocks of limestone that were caught up in the root system of that tree. Alright, so I'm going to get the cameras and all up, and then I'm going to go down more. I'm going to go down here a little bit further, because I'm pretty sure I actually caught him on camera down here a little bit more. I don't think it had all these palmettos around it. So I'm going to go down there, and I can do another size comparison down there too, just like here. So let me show you. Whoops. Alright, so let me show you what I'm looking at here. Alright. So I brought the camera. I brought the photos here too. Because when I look at this for the size comparison, I want to be able to see the timer and the battery and all here. So you'll be able to see that too. That'll help me with the size comparison. So this is what we're looking at. And there he is there. So I brought this because actually Lynette was going to come with me to begin with, and I was going to let her hold the phone here and look at these and compare me. I was going to walk out there and let her film me with the thermal and let her compare me. So these are that's what I'm looking for. So I think these trees here, I think they were down the trail here just a little bit more. Alright, so I'm going to go down there and film this again right down there too as well. Alright, so let me get the backpack back on. Alright, that's good for now. I'm not going real far. Alright, so I'm going to get the camera here and turn it off for a minute. So one thing I do want to do, I want to keep filming on the right with the thermal. And I'll keep filming on the left with the camcorder just until I get right down here. I'll get down here a little bit and then we'll set up again. Yeah, I'm gonna stop right here a minute. Let the camera keep filming right there. I want to look at that photo again, right here. Oh, I just wanted to look again. I was just looking right here good with the thermal. Alright, so I'm going to move on down just a little bit more. I don't think this was the spot. The trees don't quite look the same. All this changes over time too. You got storms come through, hurricanes come through. The difference between spring and wintertime, summertime, with all the heat. Droughts, and then all the rain, the rainy season. Things tend to change a lot out here. I use a lot of my hunting experience into this. Going slow, filming slow. Going slow looking for tracks. So can you see that steam over there coming off of that palmetto plant? I'm filming it with the thermal. I can't tell that there's any steam rising. Alright, that pine tree that's right in the center. You can see that black looking palmetto leaf beside it. On the left, see how much heat that's giving off. So the dew sitting on it and the sun coming up hitting it is making it steam like that. That's pretty cool to see that. Alright, I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna zoom in with this, but look, we're getting hit with, we're just getting hit with more magnetic electric. I'm gonna change the battery out here in a couple minutes. But that was going up pretty good again. Alright, I got the thermal camera sitting there for the moment. I'm trying to catch that steam coming up off of that palmetto. The sun hitting that palmetto like that was making it give off a lot of heat. And it's causing that steam. It almost looked like smoke rising off of it the way it was steaming. I don't see as much steam coming off it now. You can see a light fog up through there. Alright, I'm gonna move up here a little bit more. So this right here, I'm gonna film this again too. This is where Wynette was filming me. I was right here, and they were right here in these bushes. But these bushes were a lot thicker than these trees and stuff. Were a lot thicker back then. All this right here was a lot thicker. I'm gonna take a minute and pan around with the thumb a little bit here. So these pine trees over there, they're smaller trees. I think I was actually up ahead here just a little bit more. Never bigger trees like these over here. Alright, so one more thing here. Set up the camcorder over here. Okay, so when that was actually filming me, right here at that spot. Yeah, I feel like we're being followed over here. I'm getting a pressure from in there. That might be why the birds are going off. The birds, I think they're sounding an alarm right there. So I heard something moving back here. And I'm still feeling the pressure, so I think we're being followed. Something up in there followed us from across the road there. I'm pretty sure that's why the birds are sounding an alarm there.
It's hard to hold that still, like filming backwards.
So I'll set up the camcorder. I'm gonna walk over there. And yeah, I'm gonna walk back over there. So this will actually be a third refilming right here. So when I came around through here, So when I came around through here, I could hear them right in here. So I could hear them right in here. They were that close to me. So when we came back, a lot of this had already started dying off and falling like it is now. It's not as thick as it was. But you can see it's changed even more now. So when I go back to the original footage, we should be able to see that pine tree really good, with the trees around it, and then this pine tree too. So we should be able to see that. All this was growed up more. So they were right there that close. I heard them way back there coming towards us, following us, and I heard them, once we turned on this trail, I heard them come across into here, and then they came up here and got real close to us. And then too, I think when we walked by these trees right there too, that was thicker. And I caught a couple of them right there on camera. So I'm panning around a little bit more with the thermal. So I'm going up here a little bit more. Alright, so I'm just trying not to point the thermal towards the sun. Alright, so I'm gonna pan over here to where I just was. And I'm gonna pan around lightly with the thermal camera. And that traffic really, sound of that traffic carries a lot right out here. That highway out there. Alright, so I just wanted to refilm this. I'm gonna go back through my footage. I don't remember if I filmed with the thermal right there. Or if I was just filming on the right side because of the sun on the left. Now I'm just wondering if I'm close to where I caught that one. I was trying to tell if it could have been up in there. So I think what I'll do is I'll walk up in there again and get the size comparisons right here. And I'll take another look at that picture real quick. Get my camera set up. Alright, so when I get done, I'll change this out. Right. It was up to 8 point something, 4 point, 5 point, 6 point something, 5.4. Magnetic electric right here. So that's what we're trying to determine too, if this could be when we're getting real high magnetic electric like that, if we're near a portal or rift, a vortex. Alright, so I'm gonna walk up in here and do my so it went back down 0.1. Alright, and then two, I'll show you what I did. I took a tape measure and I measured 30 feet, and then I walk it and I count my steps, and then that's 10 yards. So 3 foot is 1 yard. So if you do the math, then 30 feet is 10 yards. Alright, so I'm going to do my pace, my steps here, and I'll stop at 10 yards. Okay, so this is 10 yards. Alright. So I'm going to raise my left hand. Alright, this is 10 yards. Alright, so let's go to 15. Alright, so this is 15 yards. So I'll raise my hand and wave. Alright, so 1 and 5, 15. Alright, so then let's go to the 20. Alright, so this is 20 yards. Alright, 2 and a 0. 2 and a 0, 20 yards. Alright, so I'll do my right hand this time. So this is 20 yards. And I'm going to turn a little bit each way. Alright, so that's 20. So let's go 25. Alright, so that's 25 yards. Alright, a 2 and a 5. Alright, that's 25 yards. Alright, I'm going to weigh both hands. That way when I go through my footage and I can see on the thermal, as I'm talking, I can see the differences. So I'll raise both hands. Mosquitoes in here. Mosquitoes hadn't been bad until right now. Alright, so that's 25 yards. 2 and a 5. Alright, so let's go to 30. Alright, 3, 0. You know what? I just want to see if you can see that on thermal camera. Can you see that on thermal camera? Just something funny to do. Just curious. Can you see my fingers? Let's see how detailed it is. I'm gonna put all my fingers out. Let's see how detailed it is. And this way I'll know I'm at 30 yards also. So let's see how detailed it is. Alright, so let's turn a little bit slow to my left. Because I want to compare my face to his, my size to him, the tree sizes. And I can put stuff close side by side to get comparisons. Alright. Alright, let's go back out here. So that'll help give me some size comparisons to that. And the tree sizes. And kind of help me locate the actual spot he was at. The trees he was next to. Because I would like to check those with the magnetic electric. If I can find the same spot. I'm just trying to tell if I'm being watched. Okay, I'm going to turn this off for a minute. I'm going to change the battery on the tri-field meter. And then I'll turn the cameras back on I'll turn the camcorder back on and we'll move on down. Actually, you know what? I'll just turn it right back on. I like to leave the camera running when I can. Tell you what was I heard that. That sounded like a stick hitting the tree. Actually, you know what? I'll just turn it right back on. I like to leave the camera running when I can. So I'll tell you what was I heard that. That sounded like a stick hitting the tree. I heard that. That sounded like a stick hitting the tree. Like it either fell or was thrown. Alright, so let's just set the camcorder and let it film right there. Alright, I'm going to take the backpack off and change that battery out. I got my thermocell, I haven't turned it on yet. The mosquitoes haven't been bad. Alright, so I turned off I turned off the tri-field meter. Sometimes I start getting the words mixed up, tri-field and thermal. Alright, so the GPS Garmin is 139 foot, 140 foot elevation. Alright, and then the iPhone is 100 foot, 90 foot elevation. It just changed. It went back to 100. 100 foot elevation with the iPhone compass. It just changed to 90 foot. So it's kind of going back and forth, 90 foot, 100 foot. And then the Garmin was 140 foot. That's through GPS. Again, the iPhone compass is using the iPhone compass is using the barometric sensor, the app itself, and the compass app itself, and the device sensor in the camera, and the a device sensor in the phone itself. Alright. So I'm trying to keep a watch on that because, yeah, at one point there, without there with Chris that time, we were out here in the green swamp. At one point it was showing we were 300 foot above sea level. And then another time it was, we were 80 foot underground. Alright, there we go. See what the thermometer shows. So we're about 54 degrees Fahrenheit. So right now it's up to 54 degrees Fahrenheit. It's supposed to get to around 74 degrees today for the high. So it looks like Celsius we're at about 12 degrees Celsius. I try to show that too because we have people up in Canada that watch my channel, and we have friends in Australia that watch our channel, and I know they all go by Celsius. So I try to show the Celsius too. Alright, I'm going to put the tri-field back on the tripod here. Alright, I'm going to turn it back on. Magnetic electric. Alright, just getting normal reading. Okay, I'm switching over to RF. Getting a very light reading. 0.033, 0.04, 0.0, 0.24. It's getting a really light reading on the radio frequency. Alright, so let's go back to the magnetic electric. 0.1, 0.2, that's from the human body for me. Okay, I'm going to take this, take the thermal back down. Alright, so let's put the backpack back on. I'm going to turn this off for a minute now, the camcorder off. Alright, I'm going to move on up here a little bit. I'm pretty sure that I was right up here somewhere. Right up in here somewhere when I filmed him. So I want to try to find the tree. If I don't find it right now, I'll still want to try to come back with Lynette where she can help me. She can help me looking at the picture too and help me find the actual spot that he was at. So even right here, this looks closer. This looks like close to where he was. Alright, I stopped right here. I got the thermal camera pointing right in there. That looks really close to where he was. Looks really similar right there anyway. We're getting hit with magnetic electric right here too. 1.7, that was 3 point something. So there's a good chance that we're right here close to where he was. I'm gonna go back to that photo again. Okay, so there's that photo again. Alright, so I'm gonna move on down a little bit more here. I'm just gonna kind of go down and right around the corner here and then kind of loop back around and come back out around here where I'm at now. This thermal camera's got a lot of good details. It really pulls the details really good. I'll try to go slow and film slow. So he was right in here somewhere. Is that squirrel barking at something up in there? So again, if you can, get out in nature. Get out and do a little hiking. Go out just a little ways and have a little picnic or something. Listen to everything. Listen really good. And trust your gut instincts. Always trust your gut instincts. But getting out, walking, moving your body, and just getting out and in nature is healthy for you. Alright, so I need to change the battery on the camcorder. Okay, I just changed out the battery on the camcorder. So I got the thermal camera pointing right there. So this used to be, I think it was a natural structure. I don't think it was like Bigfoot made or man made or anything like that. I think it was natural, just from deadfall. But the storms took this stuff on down. But I'll show that too right here. I'll show you what it looked like back then. Like I said, this was like 2 years ago, so stuff changes out here because of the storms and the weather, and from bugs eating on the trees and killing them, and lightning striking trees and killing them, and it changes so much. Alright, I'm gonna leave the thermal camera right there pointing that direction. Get the camera ready here. I got the camcorder going. Alright. Alright, so I want to do a little experiment here. This is something similar to that we were doing and starting to do with some of this experiments like this when I was out with Chris Connor, Chris Reinhardt, Joey, and Bud. Alright, so I'm gonna turn the backpack too so I can see the Garmin. Alright, I'm gonna set it up here where I can see it better. 151 foot, 145 foot for elevation. It's going down just a little. Alright, let me get in position here where I can not move very much and stay pretty quiet. So I'm going to use the tone generator. Okay, so what I'm using here, this is 528 hertz. Alright, so let me explain this a little bit. Alright, so the 528 hertz is actually for love and electromagnetic and light wave. So let's see. So the 528 hertz is a healing, loving frequency. It helps your DNA repair itself. It's connected to the sun. It's connected to Saturn and math, the pi and math and geometry. Alright, so it's the 528 hertz is connected with all of this. And it's also used for cleaning water. And it's been used for cleaning water in the past. Alright, so So what I want to do, I'm going to get started here. I'm going to play it for a short time, and then I want to see if we get any readings on the magnetic electric, or see if we get anything on thermal. Alright, so here we go. Alright, I'm just going to move it out of the way from the front of the camera. I want the camera to be able to look up in there. Okay, I paused it. Okay, we're trying an experiment. This is 528 hertz. So if you want to come join in the experiment, or come listen to it. This is used for love, for healing. Alright, I'm going to play it again. I'm hearing a lot more birds out. I showed the Merlin out quite a bit. It's really good for seeing what kind of birds are in your area around you. Okay, I'm going to play it one more time. So magnetic electric is staying at 0.1, 0.2. Right, I'm going to play it again. 129 foot above sea level. Elevation 129 foot. Okay, I'm gonna stop it. But I'm gonna do it one more time. This time I'm gonna hold the thermal camera up and scan around. Okay, I'm gonna pan around with the thermal camera while it plays it. Alright, I'm stopping it. I'm gonna pan back around. Well, the bird activity increased. That's one thing I'm noticing. I panned around really good with the thermal camera. So the bird activity seems to increase. So you know what, I'm going to sit down right here on this rock. This big chunk of limestone. I'm going to sit down here and play it one more time for a minute. I got the thermal camera over there still. So let's just play this again for a minute. I'm really noticing the bird activity really increased. $165. I was looking at 155 foot elevation. Change 153, 151. Alright, it's moving a little. 150 foot elevation. So the bird activity really increased. There's a lot of birds flying all around, right in here, around the palmettos, the trees. Alright, I'm gonna do it one more time. So I'm just gonna sit here and meditate, kind of meditate while for a minute while I'm playing this. Okay, it turns on. Magnetic electric still staying normal. So that was my purpose in doing this experiment here. To watch the magnetic electric, see if it changed any. To film with the thermal camera and pan around a little with the thermal camera. See if we catch anything come up close. And keep a watch on the elevation. 157 foot elevation. Just keep a watch on that, see if it changed any. And just listening to the nature. Alright, so 9:29, so we're past the major feeding time now, according to the app there, to the Solinar chart. Alright, so I mean, one thing I did notice, the bird activity really increased. I don't know if that really had anything to do with the tone generator. But I just want to show you this again here. So the iHunt app, and I learned this from finding the trackway. Okay, so the Solinar chart, the Solinar times. Okay, so you can see like today, Sunday, November 24th. So wildlife activity, it just says stay home. So it's not that great a day for wildlife activity. So the major feeding time was 6:02 a.m. until 9:02 a.m. Alright, and the moon is directly overhead of us now. At 7:32 a.m. this morning, it was directly overhead. At 35% illumination. So the moon's directly up over us. And then it's got another major feeding time today and 2 minor feeding times today. This is pretty good. It tells you the sunrise, the sunset. So the sunrise was at 6:55 a.m. So I was up in here in the woods at sunrise when it actually became sunrise. And even before it actually started breaking over the horizon there in the east. Alright, so this is pretty good for quite a few things here. I like to try to go by it and try to tell if I'm actually seeing something during the major times or not. Alright, I just wanted to show that to you. And the app I'm using is the tone generator for my experiment. And you can change the frequency. So this is hertz. This is all hertz frequency. So I can change it. But that's the one I wanted to do today. I can change it and do more. There's another one that's good for meditation and healing, is 432 hertz. And then I have 3 of them wrote down that are a little bit higher, that are for the pineal gland, to help open your pineal gland in meditation. But tone generator is what this one's called. And if I remember right, Bud played one of those tones when he was out still with Chris Connor and Chris Reinhardt and Angie, and they got a growl. They had one come up, a big one come up real close and growled at him when he played that tone generator. That should all be in the documentary when Chris gets it ready. Alright, I'm going to get my backpack back on, and then I'm going to do a little loop around in here, just real close here. I want to try to film around these trees right in here more with the thermal, and see if I can actually end up comparing the 2 spots together. What I'm filming in here today and the original, showing him standing there, because it was right in here. Alright, I'm gonna get everything back on. So now it's showing 125-foot elevation. So it just changes depending on the satellites going over. It changes a little. I'm gonna stop the camera. I'm gonna pull these legs back up on the tripods here so I can walk around up through there easier. Alright, so I'm gonna walk around up in here just a little bit and loop back out on the trail here. But I want to, I'm gonna stop and pan a little bit here and there, look around with the thermal camera. And also I'm gonna keep an eye on the magnetic electorate. Alright.